up, and welcome to the Beneath the Dirt podcast. I'm your host, Bone. Thank you for tuning in. We are at episode 68 of the podcast. Keep grinding week after week. Love doing this shit. Y'all know that. Love doing the podcast. But I was just thinking the other day how I haven't had any guests other than Chuck Reeves on the show a few weeks back. And he's the first guest I've had on since the 1-year anniversary show, which was at the end of October. It's been 4 months now, just over 4 months. Only one guest. Kind of unintentional. I definitely want to have people on the show again. The usual suspects. I don't want to interview rappers. Y'all know that. I have no interest in doing that. Unless it's Monoxide. I'll keep putting that shit out there. But who do you want to see on the show? I'm curious. I've asked this before. Who would you like to see on the show that's, one, not a rapper, and two, a podcaster, like a legit podcast person, somebody you watch on YouTube, somebody you listen to, on any of the podcast platforms out there. Let me know. You might put me on to somebody I don't know. I could check their shit out. And if I like it, I'd ask them to be on my show. And if they join, they join. They don't, they don't. But I definitely plan on having, people I've had on the show before. I actually kind of like rocking it solo. I used to not like it at all. I went through a period where I had a lot of guests on the show. I had a nice little run last summer where every week, I was doing 2 episodes a week. I'd have somebody on the show. That was fun to do. And again, I'll have people on the show in the future, but I do like rocking it solo. The shit is fun. I like rocking the graphics. You know what I mean? I got to figure out a way how to get the people onto this with the graphics. I'm still learning this as I go. It's a learning process. Having fun doing it. The shit is really dope. And thank you for tuning in every week on YouTube, Google Play, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anything like that. If you tune into my shit, you listen to me, I appreciate it. I appreciate all the comments, likes, subscriptions, follows, all of that. Much appreciated. Y'all are the fucking shit. You are the true MVP. I've said it so many times before, and I'll continue saying it. Without you, I ain't shit. And it's dope that I get the views that I get, the support that I get. Once again, thank you. I very much appreciate it. We got a whole bunch of new music this week, so let's dive right into that. First up, we got brand new Aesop Rock with Rogue Wave. This track, I was never huge into Aesop Rock. I didn't get into Def Jux really when they were around. I heard of them. I tried getting into Cage. Everybody was all about Cage. Not a big Cage fan at all. I think dude is way overrated. Up until Run the Jewels, I wasn't a fan of LP and his style of production. But going back, listening to Fantastic Damage, Company Flow, Cancer for Cure, I'll Be Glad When You're Dead, all his old shit, super dope. And Aesop is one of those dudes that I slept on for a minute. I'm trying to think what album I got into with Aesop. It just came out a few years ago. Can't remember off the top of my head, but if I come up, I'm looking it up right now. The Impossible Kid. That's the only album I've heard from Aesop Rock. I know Skeleton is an album I need to check out. That is probably, from what I've heard, his best record that he's put out. At least one of my boys who's huge into Def Jux, that's where he says Skeleton is where it's at. With the Impossible Kid, I got into it, started listening to it. Aesop's production is fucking dope. The way he rhymes throws me off a little bit. So going into this song right here, Rogue Wave, I kind of knew what to expect. I'm a little familiar with his music. Again, I looked it up. He produced this track. His production is fucking dope. Aesop Rock's production is really good. First time I heard his production was on the Felt 3 album. Murs and Slug, they got their group Felt. Felt 3, he produced that shit. That shit was banging. Love Aesop's production. His flow and the way he pronounces words kind of throws me off. But dude raps his ass off. You listen to it, the multi-syllables, metaphors, all that shit. This dude raps his ass off. This is actually a pretty dope track. Listened to it a couple times already. I don't know what he's got coming out for new solo work or not. But this shit right here, if you ain't heard it, and I would assume if you're an Aesop Rock fan, you're probably going to love this shit. I don't have anything to gauge off of it other than The Impossible Kid. But this shit go hard. Definitely recommend checking out that Aesop Rock Rogue Wave track. And then we got another dude I've talked about a few times before on this podcast, 9 Mills. Local dude to my area. He's coming out of Worcester, Mass. I've known this dude coming up on 15 years. I've known him for a minute now. Dude's chill as fuck. Makes really good music. His last EP that he put out, The Independency. I believe that's what it was called. But this shit right here, In My Blood, more of a mellow, laid-back kind of track. I saw him post something up saying this is going to be the last 9 Mills album. I got to hit him up and ask him what the fuck that's all about, because you need to not quit making music. I'll tell you that right now, Nine. Do not quit making music. Your shit is dope. I tell you that all the time. I give you your props when I see you. This track right here, mellow, laid-back vibe, In My Blood, speaks for itself. This rap shit is in his blood. He's talking about people he came up with. He name drops Joyner Lucas. Joyner Lucas coming out of Worcester, Mass. Not a fan myself, but I know Nine is down with him. And if you ain't heard 9 Mills, check this shit out. I'll be playing it at the end of the episode. In My Blood. This track's really dope. Love the mellow, laid-back vibe. Dude's voice is fucking ill, too. Definitely looking forward to new 9 Mills coming out. This will not be the last album, even if he says it is. I will fucking convince him otherwise. And his boy Rezno's shit, Polly Rotten, Jay Black, all them dudes. I fuck with those dudes heavy. So check this shit out. In My Blood from 9 Mills. Really dope shit. And then we got Esham. He dropped his new album today. I'm recording this February 2nd, Sunday. She Loves Me. I haven't listened to it yet. Shit's only been out a few hours. But we got the first part of what is a double album from Esham. Second part coming out February 20th. She Loves Me Not. I saw him put up something on YouTube saying one of the tracks on here is an old track that he wrote, like a really old track. It's called Cat Cobain, and he wrote it right after Kurt Cobain killed himself. So I'm curious to hear that. It's kind of wild that he still has songs that are, over 20 years old, 25 years old, just sitting around that he ain't never record. But he's got it on this album. Haven't heard it yet. But like I said, I'm kind of optimistic about new Esham because of his features on the Supervillains, the Psychopathic Cypher, shit like that. Esham been dropping that heat lately. Even his singles have been pretty good. So I don't have too high expectations or high hopes for this album, but definitely looking forward to checking it out when I get a free minute. Like I said, just dropped today. Haven't got a chance yet. And then we got new Outer Space. Y'all know Outer Space. Jedi Mind Tricks, Vinny Paz affiliates. Dudes coming out of Philly. Crypt the War Child, Planetary. They got a new song, Holy Crown, produced by DJ Sat 1. This shit sounds like classic Outer Space, if you ask me. Shit is really dope. It seems like these dudes haven't put out a fucking album in forever. I can't remember the last time they did put out an album, but fuck, I forget how much I miss listening to these dudes. I haven't listened to them in a while. I have a few of their CDs. I need to grab a couple more to finish out the collection. But Outer Space of them dudes, been putting it down for mad years. Army of the Pharaohs shit. Love these dudes. Glad to see them back making music. And this shit just sounds like classic Outer Space. Really dope shit. Check it out if you ain't checked it out. And if you wonder why I only show you or talk about stuff that I like, because why the fuck would I waste my time talking about shit I don't like music wise? You know what I mean? If somebody puts something out and I don't talk about it, you can assume more than likely I don't like it. And then there's that small chance that I just forgot. But usually I just like talking about shit that I do like. And what I do like, and which completely threw me off on first listening to this shit, is the brand new Loki, The Blood of Izu. His brand new album just dropped this past Friday, actually Saturday. The third Oracle that he's dropped, first one being Shadowland, second one, The Book of Time, and now we've got The Blood of Izu. The third of 9 Oracles. The artwork on this shit is fucking devastating, really dope. I love this cover right here. I talked about it before, how he put out 3 different variations, 3 different covers for this album on the pre-orders, and I ordered the wrong one because I didn't see this one, but I wish I ordered this cover, and I'll probably end up trading the one I have for this cover or just straight up buying this cover. Artwork being dope. What's the music sound like? If you've been listening to Loki since the Follow Me EP, which I believe was his first solo project that he put out back in 05, 06, maybe even before that, then you've been hearing the evolution of Loki over the last, say, 15 years. What he's putting out now is so fucking different and a complete 180 of what he started out as a horrorcore rapper, you know, just kind of doing the typical horrorcore shit, but really good at it. You know, anybody could do the horrorcore sound, but a lot of it's trash. This dude was one of the exceptions of that. Really good. He started to change his sound with the first Oracle with Shadowland, incorporating more of an industrial kind of sound, but still rapping that wicked shit. And then the Book of Time came out, and then he was even more embracing of that industrial sound, a lot more melodies, singing, but still rapping on here. And I was curious to see what direction he was going to go in for this album, because I love the direction from Shadowland to the Book of Time. I kind of predicted that industrial sound for the Book of Time. I didn't know where he was going to go from there. And this album right here, he just straight up dropped a fucking metal album on us. Not one rap on here, all singing, melodies, harmonizing, all that shit. Loki has dropped a fucking metal album on us, and this shit is really good. First listen, I was kind of thrown off because I was like, oh shit. Heavy ass guitars, screaming as well. He's screaming his ass off on this album. But this shit right here, man, really fucking good. He even has a cover of Metallica's Sad But True, which is kind of like a played out kind of song. Sad But True is one of those ones that you hear on the fucking radio all the time. You know, if I put on my local rock station, guaranteed I'll probably hear Sad But True at some point during the day. But his rendition of that shit, kind of taking an industrial kind of approach to that song, really dope. I fuck with it. Really dope remake of that. Colossus is fucking hard as hell. Wake Your Demons, Forsaken. It's only 9 songs, clocking in at 38 minutes. One of them being an intro. The last song before us is like 8 minutes long. Loki comes out of nowhere, drops a straight up fucking metal album on us. No raps at all. Singing all that shit. I fuck with this. I'm just glad he dropped this in the wintertime. Y'all know I've talked about it before with the Slipknot album. Metal music, rock music for me is best in the wintertime. Shit is cold, dark, depressing. It just fits the fucking vibe. Look at the cover art right there. That shit is so fucking devastating. So dope. The complete package. Loki always gives us the dope artwork. Great fucking music. Great production. Shit sounds really good. He's come a long way. I'm glad to see him experimenting with his sounds. Shit is really dope. The Blood of Izu. If you like metal shit at all, industrial kind of music as well, I highly recommend checking it out. Even if not, and you want to experiment with some new sounds, check out that new shit from Loki. And then we got brand new Clockwork, formerly of Gorilla Voltage. We all know Gorilla Voltage is no more. He drops another single, first one being Tin Man Cometh, and we got this one more. I love the approach on this. It's produced by Young Wicked. I like how he's doing more of a he's switching the flow up on this one, not doing that kind of crazy screaming / yelling kind of flow. He's kind of got more of a laid back vibe on it. Still got the screaming shit on here. The hook on it is okay. The first part of the hook kind of turns me off, but then the second half of it brings it back for me. Dope raps from Clockwork. Talk about getting more money. Shit like that. Not as good as, Gods and Claws from Gorilla Voltage. That was their last album that they put out before they broke up. But a solid song right here. At least we're getting something from them. Clockwork's giving us something. Mr. Gray hasn't given us anything. He did tease a while back that he has a solo album. But this Clockwork shit right here, really dope. Produced by Young Wicked. I don't remember if I just mentioned that or not. Beats fucking banging. Young Wicked with that production, killing that shit. Pretty dope track from Clockwork. Not as good as the stuff on Gods and Claws, but I would put it up with Apex and anything prior that Gorilla Voltage put out. Really dope. And then we got, let's go above the surface real quick. We got new A Boogie with the Hoodie. This dude right here, ever since I heard his album Hoodie Season last year, y'all know it's a top 5 album of 2019 for me. This song right here, King of My City, talking about he's the king of the Bronx. Is he wrong? I don't know. I feel like if you're fucking rapping, doing whatever, you feel like you're the king of what you fucking do. So I appreciate him saying that shit. Production's really dope on here. Don't know who did the production, but this is that auto-tune, singy mumble rap kind of shit. Even though it's not, I wouldn't really classify it as mumble rap, but underground heads probably would, just because it's that mainstream kind of sound. But I fuck with this track, A Boogie. A Boogie is that dude to me. Definitely looking forward to that new album that he got coming out. This shit go hard. Check that shit out. And then the dude who arguably started this whole fucking mumble rap movement. This dude has kids running around everywhere. And when I'm talking about kids, I'm talking about Young Thug, Uzi Vert, motherfucking Migos, Future, all that shit. Lil Wayne, he dropped his new album, Funeral, this past Friday. And this is the follow-up to the Carter 5, which he dropped, I believe, 2 years ago now. Coming up on 2 years anyway. This shit is 24 songs long, hour 16 minutes. It's a good album. Again, I fuck with Lil Wayne. It took me a while to really appreciate what Lil Wayne did. One of my homies told me to check out the first Carter album. I checked that shit out. Produced by Manny Fresh. That shit is hard. Still my favorite Carter album. Toss up between 1 and 2, but love that Carter 1 album. This shit right here, though, The Funeral, he does have 2 songs on here produced by Manny Fresh, Mahogany and Piano Trap. Probably, arguably, the 2 best songs on the album, produced by Manny Fresh. Can we get a new Lil Wayne album produced just by Manny Fresh? I would love to see all these dudes, the old Cash Money dudes, Wayne, Juvie. I know BG's locked up right now, free BG, but I would love to see all these, Wayne and Juvie go back and get that Manny Fresh sound because it just fits so well. They have that chemistry. Those two are probably, of the two standout tracks on this album early. I've listened to it a couple times through already. I think if they cut it by 6, 7 songs, maybe a couple more, 24 songs is a long ass album. And that's the downside we got here. But overall, minus the weak songs on here, which there's a handful, in my opinion, this is classic Wayne. This is better than Carter 5, in my opinion. I fucked with Carter 5, but this is just a little bit better than Carter 5. If you were to take off the handful of weak tracks on here, make it a 15-song album, something like that, even take off some of the better songs on here, and just keep all the really good shit, this would have been a really solid release. But dope to hear Lil Wayne back on his fucking rapidy rap type shit. And I love the production from Manny Fresh on those 2 songs. I wish we would get more, and I hope we get more in the future. So check that out if you're into Lil Wayne. And let's start going back into the underground. New Royce the 5'9". He got his new album dropping, The Allegory. I believe it'll be dropping at the end of this month. Someone had told me that he'd be dropping it towards the end of the month. So I'm definitely looking forward to this. Y'all know he's my favorite rapper, but he dropped another single off it, I Don't Age. Yo, hearing Royce produce his own shit is really dope. I was kind of skeptical that we were going to be getting kind of like mediocre beats with like superb lyricism, but of the 3 tracks that we've heard so far, I Don't Age, Overcomer, and Black Savage, Royce is a fucking ill producer, and he just started doing this shit within the last year or 2. So this is dope. This track, I Don't Age, really dope. Love the production on here. Braggadocious kind of shit on here. What does he say on here? He says, they say you are what you eat, but I never ate goat. That was like a rap for me right there. That was just like, they say you are what you eat, but I never ate goat. That shit is so hard. Love that shit. I love the fact that he's embracing that he's one of the illest fucking dudes to ever do this, in my opinion, but definitely one of the illest dudes out right now. And Royce been putting in that work for a fucking good 20 years now, since he came up with M back in the Slim Shady days. And I'm fucking looking forward to this album. Really hyped for The Allegory. Hopefully dropping at the end of the month. And you know I'll be covering that shit when it does drop. New Royce is always a good thing, in my opinion. And then we got Young Wicked. Young Wicked is still killing it out here. This dude is so fucking dope. I'm loving the new music. We got a few new singles from him last year. I think 2 or 3. We got the collabs with Twisted. He just dropped his new single, The Language, this past Friday, produced by Scatterbrains. This shit is dope. This dude, I want to see this dude cross over. He has that appeal. He has the sound. This dude is so fucking ill, if you ask me. Love Young Wicked's music. This dude is incredibly fucking talented. This shit sounds amazing. Killing it on the engineering. I saw him say something that he co-produced all these songs that he did with Scatterbrain. And I'm looking forward to this EP dropping. I hope it drops soon. We need a release date for this shit. It's been, 3 years since we got Young Wicked? Maybe even longer? Let me pull it up real quick. Return of the Prodigal Son, 2017. We're coming up on 3 years since Young Wicked dropped a new project that is way too fucking long in today's world. Yes, he put out the A and B album, but it's two completely different things. A and B, Young Wicked, two separate entities. I think he should stay focused on his solo shit. Sorry, Bones Dub, but Young Wicked as a solo artist is fucking amazing. I did my breakdown talking about how he's the illest, killing it in the underground about a year ago. He's probably my favorite in this whole wicked shit scene, genre, whatever you want to call it, with Ala Zululu. Ala Zulu's the best doing the pure wicked shit, without a fucking doubt. But in this scene as a whole, I think this dude's the most talented, illest dude. Crazy production, crazy engineering skills, great songwriting from Young Wicked. So dope. Definitely looking forward to this fucking EP that he's got coming with Scatterbrain and the fucking Young Wicked mixtape volume 2. Where the fuck is that? Where is that at? We still need that Young Wicked mixtape volume 2. That first one was dope. That was when he really started evolving his sound, his rapping, and all that. New Young Wicked, the language. Check that shit out if you ain't checked it out right now. Or yet, rather. And last week, I brought up on the show, where the fuck is Violent J? Where is this dude? Nobody has seen or heard anything from Violent J since the Big Ballers party. We all know Shaggy's up on the Instagrams right now, killing it on Instagram. He's got a Twitter account now. He's up on the Twitter now. And we all know he's got the new Shaggy show with Kegan the Creep. But where the fuck is Violent J? This is the only dude at this point in this underground wicked shit scene who doesn't have a social media presence. You have to have that social media presence to stay relevant, unfortunately, in this day and time. Not saying that Violent J is irrelevant or ICP is irrelevant, but to keep fresh in the minds of the fucking juggalos and all that shit, you got to be up on the social medias doing whatever the fuck. It doesn't have to be the stupid, silly shit that Shaggy's doing, although he's killing it with that shit. Some of it's over the top, but it's funny as hell. He's got his kid up on there on the Instagrams. But where the fuck is Violent J? Where he been at? We got Blase Rose up on Facebook begging motherfuckers to buy her a fucking Xbox. Looks like Big Daddy Violent J can't buy her a fucking Xbox. Maybe they broke up again. Who knows? Maybe he's got a little bit of heartbreak from the Blase Rose. But where the fuck is Violent J? But does it even matter? Because we got the Shaggy and the Creep Show. They dropped their debut episode this past week with we ran 25K for 25K. Now, this episode, I thought it was going to be better than it was. It was too drawn out, boring. It had its funny moments, but overall, in my opinion, it was just boring, kind of monotone through the whole shit, kind of just kind of cruising along, nothing great happening. Like I said, it had its funny moments. I think Kegan and Shaggy got good chemistry. It's pretty funny. Shaggy's like the older brother to Kegan. It's kind of like a jackass. They say they ran 25K. I don't know if it was a legit marathon, if it was like a cancer walk or some shit like that, and they were just hopped up in it. Freezing ass cold Detroit. It looked like the snow on the ground. Dude's wearing short shorts, fucking no shirt, short sleeve shirt. It was okay. Nothing overall impressive. Like I said, kind of boring. But at least we're getting something from the ICP camp, psychopathic camp. We all know Ouija Max stays busy. And in my opinion, he's the only one left on psychopathic that is an ICP. And Shaggy's got his own thing going, dropping his own merch drops with this Shaggy and the Creep Show with Kegan the Creep. And I was hoping for more, but I guess it is what it is. And we'll see where this show's going to go in the future. They dropped the outtakes. I haven't watched the outtakes yet. Maybe the outtakes are better. I know it's a way shorter video. It's like 6 minutes long, something like that. I started up on my YouTube feed. But overall, not impressed. But Shaggy is still our savior. About a year ago, I talked about how Shaggy is the Juggalo savior, keeping the fucking name ICP fresh in the minds of people. Because if he didn't have the social medias, again, not to say that they would be irrelevant, but who's keeping the name ICP in the mind of people? Everybody else is up on social media. You have to stay on people's minds. You know, he dropped his solo album a couple years back. They dropped Fearless Fred Fury last year with Flip the Rat album as well. We got 2 albums from ICP. Even though Fearless Fred Fury didn't have that much Shaggy on it, which was very disappointing. Everything this dude is doing, he's killing it. Even with the mediocre debut of the Shaggy and the Creep Show, this dude stays killing what he's doing. I love his online presence. Shaggy is the Juggalo savior. And in my opinion, he's what's keeping ICP alive. Or at least keeping his fucking name alive at this point in time. So if you ain't checked that shit out, or if you have, let me know what you think. I haven't really seen too many opinions online about the Shaggy and the Creep Show yet. But if you want, drop me a line. Let me know what you think of the Shaggy and the Creep Show. I'm looking forward to future episodes. Definitely looking forward to hearing what this dude's going to bring to us in the future. And that's going to wrap it up for me this week. I appreciate you tuning in week after week. Y'all are the motherfucking MVPs, like I said. Brand new CD collection video dropping very soon, hopefully within the next week or two. Just waiting for a few more CDs to come in the mail. And I'm Roll Bone of the Beneath the Dirt podcast. And until next time, I'm out. Peace.
This in my blood, run through my skin. I keep it real, I ain't gotta pretend. They keep me playing, but we came to win. They keep me playing, but we came to win. It's in my blood, run through my skin. I keep it real, I ain't gotta pretend. They keep me playing, but we came to win. They keep me playing, but we came to win. See, we been running through this cash now. Until the haters sit their ass down. Until the most to play the background. Play a position, we on a mission, I'm about to get it. Always knew that I was special, I just never knew the purpose. Many nights feeling worthless, started getting to these verses. I think I like them, but I'm nervous. Show the kids that they heard us. They might say that the word is that nerd Chris got some courage. Did that shit, then I flourished. Now I'm a Mac at school, smoking weed, trying to act a fool. Never doing what I have to do. Adolescent with a backwards view. All my homies get it cracking too. Scrapping, looking for a lacking crew. That ain't me, so I had to move on. I metal size to dawn, and right from then it was on. He introduced me to Nels, Nels introduced me to Joyner. All of them giving me pointers, study the game. So when you call me a lame, I gotta call you insane. Check on my chain, stay on my lane. Probably shouldn't get in my way. On it like I never left it. I ain't checking for no exit. Always looking for the next shit. All you hating don't affect shit. Hit the stage and I wreck shit. Another day, another check, bitch. If you fucking up the bag door, that's another hater off the checklist. This in my blood, run through my skin. I keep it real, I ain't gotta pretend. They keep me playing, but we came to win. They keep me playing, but we came to win. It's in my blood, run through my skin. I keep it real, I ain't gotta pretend. They keep me playing, but we came to win. They keep me playing, but we came to win. See, we been running through this cash now. Until the haters sit their ass down. Until the most to play the background. Play a position, we on a mission, I'm about to get it. Suckers hating and waiting, dog. Another L, they gon' take it hard. I know they pray we don't make it far, cause we kicked it off with a crazy start. I ain't bitter cause the crazy part. I love you all and it made my heart bleed blood with they razor sharp claws at my chest, but it fazed me not, cause I work hard, I move smarter, my back against the wall. Not rap tight, but I rap tight, I hope that offends you all. Yo, bitch is fine, but you can find her swinging off my balls. If it's asinine, bitch, pass the mic to 9. I'm the one to call. My mills gotta be a prick. Fuck you, bitch, eat a dick. I'm just being myself on the mic and you just mad that he the shit. Tired of hoping that this lead a flip. I told Rez that we need a hit. He said fuck it, made an album worth. Now you waiting on his CD, bitch. Got something you can see the switch. Pocket stuff you can see them chips. I've been on my Brady shit. 5's cool but I need a 6. No license but I need a whip. Candy coated color sweet as fish. I was plotting I need a tense. Bulletproof I don't even flinch. This in my blood, run through my skin. I keep it real, I ain't gotta pretend. They keep me playing but we came to win. They keep me playing but we came to win. It's in my blood, run through my skin. I keep it real, I ain't gotta pretend. They keep me playing but we came to win. They keep me playing but we came to win. See, we've been running through this cash now. And tell them haters sit their ass down. And tell them hoes to play the background. Play your position, we on a mission. I'm about to get it.